There's a better way to a better day. We call it the Betterment Project. The journey of betterment begins with practical solutions to improve your quality of life. The future is bright when you decide to take small steps in the right direction. We will never reach perfection, but we can always obtain betterment.
Hi, everybody. This is Lakin, and I am here with my friend Ann. And today on the Betterment Project podcast, we are going to be talking about going with the flow.
Nice. Something
Yeah,
we all could be better at.
definitely, definitely. So as I was, like pondering this topic, I was just thinking about everything that's been going on in my life, and it's been like I don't know what two months since we've done a podcast, maybe
I think
three.
so. I think at least two.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Um, and I've just had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and so it's hard for me. I was wanting to get back into it, but when life starts throwing you curveballs, you tend to lose the fire and ambition that you started with.
Right.
And it just made me think about like when you lose that passion that you started with, that's where dreams go to die.
Well,
And
it's almost like a shift in priorities too, though.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I think it happens. Like in your case, you had to shift your priorities because you had
yeah,
stuff that was really important going on.
yeah. But like the reason why I say, that's kind of where, when passion fades, that's where your dreams go to die. You get like, feel like I've gotten sidetracked a lot,
Hmm.
with just the cares of this world and everything. And something that I was really passionate about was, doing these podcasts and um, doing my little videos that I like to do. And um, it just kind of, I don't know, that passion just kind of faded out by the cares of life. And I think that's where, dreams can go to die, and things that you
Yeah.
wanted to do can go to die in those valleys. So I've just tried to um push myself to get this going again, and you've been helping me, you've been pushing me along the way, because I think it's important, just to discuss, just life and
Right.
dealing with life on life's terms.
And trying to keep things that better ourselves in the forefront
Right.
so that we don't get bogged down by the things that are taking us away from the things we're passionate about.
Yeah, most definitely. And and this is something that, I started, with passion, and something that I really felt led to do. And I just don't want that to get snuffed out. But um yeah, so anyways, the topic, going with the flow, um we'll get back to that. It was So I've had a lot of different things happening to me, which Anne knows because she's been at the forefront of most of them.
Mhm.
But my sister died in June, and I've just had, like, it feels like just one issue after the other, um, concerning finances, kids, just all kinds of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
Work, my car, just
Right.
it felt like it was just one thing after the other that was just going wrong.
Right.
And a couple weeks ago, my car wouldn't start. I freaked out, called
Mm.
in, and we ended up getting it started, but um, it ended up pretty much just depleting my savings, having to get it fixed, what needed fixed. And I feel like um, constantly facing things like that, I was trying to grasp onto some sort of control
Mm-hmm.
um, in my life. And I was wanting to have as much control as possible because I felt like everything was so out of control. Like my sister's death, my car issues, just things that were going on in my life. And so I was just holding on to control, and the tighter I held on, it felt like the more I was losing. And so just in talking, through things with you over the last couple weeks, and just kind of doing some self reflection, I realized it was in the letting go is where I found my peace and where things started, slowly working out for me.
Right. Everything that happens in life is a learning experience and a chance for growth. And these hard things are chances for growth. Like the car situation, that was an opportunity for you to respond to the situation instead of react to the situation. You know what I mean? Which could be like a
Right,
growth thing. And
right.
your sister's death, I mean, that's just really, really horrible and tragic. But it's another chance for you to grow as a person and learn how to handle loss like that, have an experience like that. And in gaining that experience, you become a beacon of light to others who are going through loss. So,
Mhm.
I mean, those are some
Yeah, and
positives.
it's hard. It's hard when you're going through that. And, with the car situation, I had my, little mental breakdown there for a little bit. But as I reflected on it, the days leading after, I was like, tried to change my perspective to like, well, at least I had money to fix my car.
Right.
You know, I
Exactly.
had, I had, I was in a position where I got it taken care of. Is everything in my life exactly, going the way that I want it to go? No. But I tried to have some gratitude for just even that. I was able to get my car. I got off work 11:30 at night. Was able to get my car towed and fixed before work the next day.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
that in itself was just a total blessing.
Right.
And so I've been trying to switch my perspective and things like that and not get so overwhelmed. Um, I think it's really, really hard. Well, I shouldn't say it's hard. It's super easy to change my words, change my thoughts, because I feel like I constantly say it's hard, it's hard, it's hard,
Right.
because I'm having all of these feelings, and I'm like
Right.
a really, really deep feeler. And
Right.
when I'm feeling things so intensely, I can't see past it.
Right.
And it's been a big learning curve to try to learn to see past that kind of stuff. And
Right. To
even if
step
the
out of your
worst,
feelings.
right, and even if the worst possible thing happens, it is what it is. There's nothing that I can do about it.
Right.
Me worrying constantly about things is not going to change the situation.
Right.
Um, so why not be happy or try to be happy and see the positive in things? seems like the logical thing to do.
And life is all about change, and it's like the very nature of existence. And resisting change only backfires on us. I mean, change is always going to happen. We can either go with it with a happy heart and adventurous spirit, or we can resist kicking and screaming, but we're still dragged along with the change regardless. So it's
Yeah.
either go with the change or resist the change and still have to go with it, you know?
Right.
Either way, you're gonna go. You're gonna change. That's the nature of life.
Yeah, and if you don't learn to do that, you're just going to be miserable. And I feel like that's kind of where I've been the last, since my sister died in June. I've just been miserable because I just wasn't accepting things for what they were. And I was in this, felt like I've been in this like survival mode. Okay, well, what do I have to do next to, I got to take care of everything. I got to rectify this situation. And, nobody's going to do it for me. And I think, the Lord showed me some things about that too. I think some of my thinking with that stems from, abandonment issues that I have.
Mm,
Um, but, ultimately I just I have to learn how to just be okay with, you know, whatever's getting thrown at me. I have to learn how to get some gratitude in some things, and to just, do what I can do. And then what I can't do, I have to just have faith,
yeah,
that
and go
things
with
are
the
going to work
flow.
out.
Right.
Go with the flow, baby.
And like what you're saying about gratitude, gratitude is like key. And that makes me think of this quote that I've heard. I'm probably totally butchering it, but it's something like, what if the only things you had in your life today were the things you thanked God for yesterday? Think about that
Mm,
for a second. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think gratitude is super important.
yeah,
I mean, it
yeah,
goes a long way in helping us adapt to any kind of change. I mean, there's always something to be grateful for, even in the worst of situations.
yeah. That's so true. And like, I mean, I'll take it to a biblical standpoint because that's how I am. And that's why, the Israelites wandered in the desert for 40 years, is because of their constant complaining
Hmm.
and their constant ungratefulness. They would have
Hmm.
got to the promised land a lot sooner if they would have probably been more thankful.
Hmm.
Instead, they wanted to complain about, a miracle of being given food every day, given manna every day by God.
Right.
They seen it as like, oh, gotta eat this manna again,
Right.
and like just complained about things, and it kept them in the wilderness for a lot longer than they should have been.
Hmm.
And I was reading this, well, I wasn't reading it, it was an audiobook by Rick Joyner called The Valley, Fire on the Mountain, The Valley. And it was talking about, just periods of wilderness. And basically, if we, don't go with the flow, the longer we're going to stay in those, wilderness type positions,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's in our DNA to want to just complain about everything and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I've been trying to get like,
It's
so
also
my
a
biggest
habit.
thing, yeah, it is definitely a habit. It is definitely a habit, and it can be broken with
Yeah.
practice for sure.
Right.
Um,
What were you gonna say?
but
I'm sorry.
oh no, you're good. I've been saying to myself, like, the last week or so, just the Lord's Prayer over and over again. your will be done in my life and not my own, Lord. And just learning to um, try to understand that, my plans aren't always his plans,
Hmm.
and um, accepting that, because his ways are better than my ways. I think I might have a good plan going on, and it's just, a man plans, his ways, but the Lord orders his steps. And I think it's good to try and make plans, but also not hold on so tightly to those plans that you can't have um God, or whatever it is that you're believing in, the universe, whatever you want to call it, be able to make things work out for you, you
Right.
know, and because you're just holding so tightly to that.
Yeah, because we can't really we can't really make everything happen for ourselves. Like we need God and or the universe to intervene a lot of times to make things happen for us that we can't make happen on our own, you know? And if we're
Mhm.
not willing to be open to the possibilities that that brings, then we're shutting out all kinds of opportunities.
Yeah, potentially missing out on something that could be way more amazing than anything that we had,
Exactly. Right.
dreamt up. Yeah. So, have you had any problems with going with the flow here lately?
Oh my God, I have problems going with the flow every day. I'm pretty ridiculous about my desire for control. I mean, it's really embarrassing, honestly. Let me think. I
I
know
just bared it all to everybody. I
okay,
am it's hard. It is hard letting go of control.
okay. My stuff is very trivial. Okay, like here's one that happened to me recently. All right, when we get stuck in our routines, our lives can become stagnant. I personally am a prime example of this. My whole life is pretty much a routine that I've become dependent on. Why have I become like this? I think it's because with my routines, I know that I won't forget to take care of things that I feel I should do because it is now such a habit, which is a good thing in many ways. But at the same time, if anything interrupts my routine, I kind of lose my mind a little. For example, every Saturday morning, I vacuum my whole house, take out the trash. And if I were to decide to go out of town and not be there on Saturday to do those things, it kind of throws me for a loop and I actually stress out about it, which is crazy. To the point that I'd almost rather not go out of town than just not to disrupt my routine. Like that's how bad I am about not
Mhm.
going with the flow.
Mhm.
And like for your birthday, I gave you a ticket for us to go see a comedian. And that's going to
Yeah.
be at what time? 7 o'clock at night, which is not late.
Yeah.
But I'm used
Which
to
we
like,
had a whole conversation about this, because I had wanted to go see this comedian, and Anne was so hesitant. She's like, "Oh, I don't know about that, like with my dinner schedule and my,
all
this and
right.
that." And I'm like, "What in the world, Anne?" And so when you gave me those tickets for my birthday, I was in just utter disbelief that she was willing to be so flexible.
Exactly. I mean, it still hasn't happened yet, but it will happen and I'll get through it.
So you'll probably be checking your watch the whole time.
I know.
If you
I'll be
didn't
like,
know, if y'all didn't know, she does that to me.
I'll be checking my webcams, making sure my cats are okay. Like, oh, my cats are thinking I should be home by now. What are they doing? What are they doing without me? Pathetic.
No, it's not pathetic. It's just,
But
I don't
but I try. I mean, I always am trying to be more flexible with different things. Like, Like, I think I've gotten better about it. Um, I mean, I get frustrated over the stupidest little things, like in traffic. I get so frustrated if somebody in front of me doesn't go when the light turns green, and sits there. Like, I'm like, this is ruining my life right now. I've got to get through this light, and you're ruining my life. It's ridiculous, but
Yeah.
I've gotten better about that. So now, if they
That's
don't
not.
go,
I think.
I
I
just
think
try
that's
to,
pretty normal.
yeah,
Maybe it's not normal. I don't know because I do it too.
right. It could
I
just
do
be
this
us.
exact same thing with traffic.
But I
Maybe
feel
it's just
like
us.
I'm getting better because I try now. If something like that were to happen, I stop myself before I react, and instead, I sort of talk to myself in my head and say, "Okay, the person in front of me might be having a horrible day. They just learned that they lost their job, or maybe their cat died, or whatever. Things could be going really wrong, and their head's not in the game for driving today. I should have a little compassion and grace for them, and things are going to be okay because I'm always super early everywhere I go anyway. So I've got time to kill. So I may as well just sit
Right.
behind this person for an extra 30 seconds and be okay."
Right. Yeah, I'm the same way. I will cuss somebody out in my car and then
Yeah,
be like, "Oh Lord, forgive me,"
I
because then I
know.
start thinking like, what if that was, you know, protection for me? What if I was about to
Right.
get in a car accident and these
Exactly.
people just slowed me down?
Yep.
And like I start thinking about things like that after I done cuss this guy up and down or whoever it was,
Right.
for driving, super slow when it's absolutely ridiculous because I'm early everywhere I go to out
Right.
of a control thing. That's
Exactly.
another control thing because,
Yeah. We should change
you know,
we should change this podcast category to control issues instead of going with the
instead
flow.
of going with the flow. Okay. So, but we're talking about things that we're doing that are helping us go with the flow, like
Right.
trying to shift our perspective, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like like you were talking about, oh, this person may have been having a really bad day, something might have happened to them,
Right.
and then for me, it's like, oh, well, I might be, um,
Mm,
being saved from a car accident or who knows,
exactly.
and, but I don't notice those things right away. Maybe
Right.
I'll get there one day, but
Yeah.
like,
The more we
first,
practice, the
first
more
I
we'll.
cuss them out
Yeah, I
and then I
know.
get
Then you ask forgiveness and then you look at it another way. I
right.
know. I'm sort of the same way. I'm getting better though. I think if we just keep trying to be better, we will eventually be better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's just a never-ending process of bettering yourself. That's for sure.
Yep.
I don't think we ever master it.
Nope.
Well, I think this was an interesting topic, an interesting way to dive back into our 3-month sabbatical we've had.
Exactly.
Um, hopefully we can start getting things rolling again, get back into the flow
There we
of
go.
doing it. I think we're a little out of the flow, but we're getting back in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So just go with the flow, everybody, and thanks for listening to our shenanigans. And we will see you next time.
Thanks, Lakin.
Bye.
Bye.